And joined now by Roch Kubatko of MASNsports.com. It's our Sunday news and notes segment, and we thought we'd change it up a little bit, so we came downstairs. This is where Buck Showalter has his pre- and post-game press conferences, so this is where the news and notes actually happen. Now, right now, one of the big topics, Roch, is the state of flux of the rotation, and to me, it's kind of ironic. The starters that have been able to go to the mound, they've been pitching their best baseball of the year, but from day to day, we don't know who's going to make the next start.
Right. Stay ready, Jim.
I'm ready.
Be you.
I want to be in there.
It could be a bullpen game after you. It does help, thank goodness. They had an off day Thursday. Right. They've got another one tomorrow. So that gives Buck the chance to kind of maneuver the rotation around. Chris Tillman could be starting Tuesday. He had the back stiffness. He's the possibility. He told me last night it's a lot better. He said it's spasms, and he gets all the time, last 2 or 3 years certainly. But he goes, normally they arrive after a start, and he has time to kind of get ready for the next one. This is one of the few times where it's actually happened right before a start. Of course, he was scratched from the day he was supposed to take Bud Norris's spot. Bud was scratched because he's dealing with bronchitis. So now you've got Mike Wright making his Major League debut, and oh, by the way, can you be the stopper while you're making your Major League debut? And then after that, we really don't know. Right now, you could project Tillman maybe on Tuesday after the off day. Bud Norris feeling better, but they may want to give him the extra day unless Chris is the one that needs the extra day. Bud was sent home again last night, so he's slowly recovering. And Tyler Wilson is here. And he's got this big smile on his face. This is the first time he's been in the majors, but does this count as being in the majors? Because he's on the taxi squad. He's not. 24 hours. So I don't think you get service time, but you get meal money. And he gets to tell people I've been in the Major League clubhouse. He's smiling from ear to ear, but he's here. They have to make a decision on him by 8 p.m. tomorrow, whether he's going to stay to help in the bullpen, or if he becomes a starter, or if he goes back to Norfolk. So things are really in flux right now.
Well, this organization, they always try to cover their bases. Buck always refers to guys as the what-if guys. Right. And Tyler Wilson right now is that what-if guy. But another what-if guy is somebody certainly who's a big part of the future here, maybe the present, is Kevin Gausman. Now, he's on the DL, but he's going to be stretched out a little bit. Maybe down the road, he's a guy that can come in and help settle down the rotation.
Right. They want to send him eventually to Norfolk to have him be a starter to stretch him out. But Buck was asked, what's happening with Tillman and Norris right now? Does that influence what you do with Kevin? And the predictable answer, Buck's like, no. Like, we're not going to rush Kevin Gausman back now from the sore shoulder, the tendonitis he's dealing with, the inflammation, because we need help in the rotation. So he's going to start throwing flat ground tomorrow. He could do 2 or 3 flat ground sessions, a couple bullpen sessions, and they're thinking maybe a simulated game on the 27th. Or if they feel like he doesn't need that, then you just send him out on a rehab assignment. Assign him to an affiliate, however many starts he needs to make, and then officially assign him to Norfolk. But they're not going to rush him back and say, hey, forget that shoulder problem you had. We need help on the rotation. And he's obviously feeling a lot better every single day because it feels like nothing ever happened. I was watching him the other day in the hallway with head athletic trainer Richie Bancells. He's standing with his back against a wall, raising both arms over his head, which seems like a simple exercise. But if you do have inflammation in your shoulder, it's not going to work. And that right arm is going to be painful. And he had all full range of motion. So that's a really good sign.
All right, now the matter at hand today, the Orioles are trying to snap a 2-game losing streak, avoid being swept by the Angels. And the problem in this series has been the lack of offense. 1 run on Friday, 1 run on 3 hits last night in a loss. Buck was asked in his pregame presser today, are the hitters dwelling on this? And I thought his answer was great. I hope they are because they're not hitting.
Exactly. He said the same thing last night. Are they pressing? And he's like, oh, yeah, I hope so. And that's a natural thing to do because they know they're better than this. They had those stretches. They scored 18 runs in a game here. I remember that. And now I don't know if they could score 18 in 18 games because of the way they're scuffling right. They're averaging a run a game in this series. But they know they're going to break out. And I think some guys are pressing. They're just trying to do too much or trying to make up for struggles with other teammates. And everything's kind of snowballing now. And that happens in a lot of different areas. I was talking to some guys today, and it's not just the offense. There are relievers that are upset they've been allowing tack-on runs at the end of games. Like, we're told, of course, you want to protect a lead late in the game. We also want to protect that margin when you're behind. Right. You're down by 1 run. You don't want to suddenly make it 2. You're down by 2. Zach Britton gives up 3 runs in the 9th inning, which really bothered him. He's a little rusty. He hadn't pitched in a while. But he goes, we have to be better there. Defensively, Manny's not being Manny necessarily, though he makes about 1 great play a night, but he also leads a team with 10 errors. And I had a player say, we go back and think, after games, should Manny have made that play? Or are we just being too unfair because we're used to him being so good and we're not being realistic and now we think he should make every play? So they're thinking, maybe he's starting to press a little bit. And there's some other mistakes that are being made, missed cutoff men, whatever. But the rotation, despite the problems, they're pitching really well. They feel like they're going to get on a roll at some point. What are they, 3 back in the loss column right now? Nobody's panicking. I was told there's no loss of confidence, but they are going to get to the point where they realize pretty soon you can't keep saying it's still early. Right. It's still early. They know what date it is now, and they're going to have to start picking things up. I think Adam Jones kind of hinted at that to them recently. He's like, guys, we got to start really getting our focus and get after this right now.
Well, and today's a big game. If you win today, going into the day off, you're feeling good about it. If they lose and get swept, they have to wait till Tuesday to play.
Exactly, and then you're going to be 5 games below 500, which they haven't been since, what, 2011 at the end of that season. So, yes, no pressure on Mike Wright. He's got to be the stopper today.
All right, kid, welcome to the Bigs and go get a win. Now, Roch has been tweeting so much information about the Orioles. You got a bad wrist, huh?
Yes, I'm going to have to switch hands there. I think I'm getting the carpal tunnel here.
That's Roch Kubatko. Follow his coverage of the Orioles every day. He hasn't missed a day at MASNsports.com.